Y News with Angelo Castro III and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. UNTV News and Rescue Team was among the first responders in today's Traslacion. Together with other groups, the team attended to medical emergencies in the event. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
With the hot weather condition and the throng here in Quiapo area, many of the attendees of this year's Traslacion passed out and were rushed to medical booths installed for such cases of emergency. As of 4 p.m. today, there have been 50 individuals provided with medical assistance by the UNTV News and Rescue Team. Many of them sustained minor injuries, while one was rushed to a hospital due to suspected stroke. The Fire Emergency Paramedic Assistance Group, or FEMAG, on the other hand, was able to assist 51 individuals. As of 3:15 p.m., the Philippine Red Cross was able to assist 726 patients. 41 of them sustained major injuries such as suspected neck and spine fracture.
Mas marami ang mga minor wounds, abrasion, cuts punctured compare sa mga dizziness, mga na-high blood. Meron lang kami isang case na suspected stroke kasi nga may manifestation nga dun sa stroke symptoms. Kaya in-advise ng DOH na for transport. Ang naghatid yung UNTV News and Rescue. According to the Philippine National Police or PNP, as of 5 p.m. today, an estimate of 760,000 people flock in Quiapo to attend the Traslacion. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
President Rodrigo Duterte instructs the Department of Budget and Management and other agencies to find means to increase the salary of public school teachers. Here's why from Rosalicos.
After doubling the salary of military and police personnel, President Rodrigo Duterte wants to increase as well the monthly salary of public school teachers. This is possible if the second tax reform package of the Duterte administration will be passed. The plan was discussed during the first cabinet meeting of the president for this year.
The president also stated that with the second tax reform package, he has instructed DBM and all other agencies to find means to increase the salary of teachers after the initial doubling of salaries for the AFP and the police. So the teachers will be next.
The government did not mention about how much increase will be added to the salary of teachers. But according to the spokesperson of the president, teachers' basic salary can also be doubled like that of the policemen and soldiers, especially if the government has enough funds.
But judging by what he wanted for the PNP and the AFP, it could be that he is also aiming to double the entry salary for teachers.
Though the matter is a welcome pronouncement for the Alliance of Concerned Teachers party list, the group says it is not enough to justify the second tax reform package, which they believe is anti-poor.
Hindi papayag na maging justification para ilusot o para pabanguhin ang mga tax measure na ngayon pa lang nakikita na natin ay magiging pabor sa mayaman at pabigat sa mahirap.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
President Rodrigo Duterte orders a halt of logging operations in Zamboanga Del Norte. Here's why from Ray Pelayo.
This video shows recent aerial survey led by Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Manny Piñol over the mountains of Zamboanga Peninsula. After the Secretary presented the video to President Rodrigo Duterte during the cabinet meeting last night, the Chief Executive immediately ordered Environment Secretary Reyes Case to stop all logging operations in the area. Piñol argued that the logging activity in the area is the main cause of flash floods that killed residents and affected agricultural lands in 4 towns in Zamboanga Del Norte during the onset of Tropical Cyclone Vinta. The company identified as operating in the area was Sadako Agricultural Corporation.
The rivers actually overflowed with mud and it covered the rice farms. Ang problema dyan, mabuti lang sana yung baha kasi pagkatapos ng tubig, uhupa lang eh. But ito, may kasamang putik eh.
Director Felix Mirasol Jr. of DNR Region 9 said they already formed a team to investigate the report that reached the president and eventually ordered the suspension of the logging operation. The official said Sadako and the government entered into an integrated forest management agreement. It includes planting, harvesting, and protection of the 70,000 hectares of forest area in the period of 25 years.
Di naman lahat degraded yan. Mayroon ding natural forest. So actually, nasa mga 20,000 hectares na intact natural forest na pinoprotect ng company na hindi nila pwedeng putulin.
Secretary Manny Piñol says they are going to intensify their cooperation with other government agencies in order to protect areas in the country that are potential targets of illegal loggers. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
In line with that report, the South Davao Development Corporation Incorporated, or Sadako, defends itself against the allegations. Sadako says it's not right to blame them for the issue without due process and scientific proof. The company explains that within 11 years, it's the first time a flooding and landslide occurred in the area. It says the State Weather Bureau Pagasa even issued a warning about the calamity before Typhoon Vinta hit the country, which primarily affected the towns of Siwaray, Siocon, and Cebuco, which are all flood-prone areas. Sadako notes that it even launched a reforestation project in the area where it plants trees of rubber and palm. The company also says it is ready to face the investigation that will be conducted by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources.
President Rodrigo Duterte will push Congress to enact a law that will totally ban firecracker and pyrotechnics throughout the country. Here's why from Rosalie Cos.
It has been a week since the year 2018 started, and President Rodrigo Duterte is eyeing a total firecracker and pyrotechnics ban throughout the country. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque says such plan will be among the measures that the administration will push in Congress after the Department of Health failed to meet its target to lower the incidence of firecracker-related injuries by 50%.
The President also indicated that he will push for Congress to enact a law that would ban all firecrackers and pyrotechnics. Firecrackers and pyrotechnics gadgets. No?
Based on the latest report of the Department of Health, a total of 449 firecracker-related injuries, or only about 28% decline in the number of firecracker-related injuries from December 21, 2017 to January 6, 2018. Meanwhile, based on Malacanang, a total nationwide ban on firecrackers would result to around 75,000 workers who would lose their jobs, but the government assures they will not be disregarded.
He instructed the Department of Trade and Industry to look for alternative livelihood for the would-be displaced workers.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Department of Health says it will ask for a copy from the Public Attorney's Office of the result of its autopsy on the children who allegedly died of Dengvaxia. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Department of Health, or DOH, says it is open to cooperate with the Public Attorney's Office, or PAO, in terms of resolving the cases involving children who allegedly died after receiving the controversial Dengvaxia vaccine. According to the DOH, they will help in efforts to determine if the said vaccine has negative side effects. With this, the Health Department says it will request a copy of the results of the independent forensic examination being conducted by PAO on the children who received the vaccine.
That would really be very, very helpful. Kaya kung maaari sanang i-share sa atin yon ng PAO o ng pathologist nila, talaga makakatulong yon, no, sa ating pag-alam kung ano ang naging asosasyon, no, ng pagbakuna sa pagkakasakit at saka pagkamatay ng mga pasyente.
The DOH also plans to talk with PAO to discuss ways on how the agency could provide assistance to the parents of the affected children.
I'm really hoping, no, to set up a meeting with PAO. Yung isang kasamahan namin ngayon ay magko-contact sa kanila kasi hindi naman natin gustong ulit-ulitin. Siyempre, napakasakit din naman siguro sa pamilya kung ulit-ulit yung autopsy tsaka yung exhumation. But sharing of information, sa tingin natin makakabuti talaga para sa lahat.
On the other hand, PAO Chief Attorney Persida Acosta says the Public Attorney's Office is ready to release the results of its autopsy to the public and to cooperate with government agencies so as to give justice to the families of the fatalities. Meanwhile, aside from a girl from Quezon City, the remains of 2 boys from Laguna and Cavite had undergone autopsy over the weekend. Today, PAO has also conducted autopsy to 2 more cadavers. The panel of experts of the Philippine General Hospital or PGH is also continuously conducting examination of the clinical records and medical history of the cases of Dengvaxia-related deaths. DOH is expecting the immediate conclusion of the examinations, which it will submit to other concerned government offices like the House of Representatives and the Department of Justice, who are conducting an investigation into the said issue. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Duterte administration will intensify its anti-corruption drive up to the local government level. Malacanang says it was among the matters discussed during the 21st cabinet meeting of President Rodrigo Duterte yesterday. The palace says it only shows that the president is serious in holding liable corrupt government officials.
But I guess the president mentioned in the cabinet meeting his resolve also to clean up the ranks of the local government executives, to highlight that it's not just presidential appointees that will be subject to this campaign to promote public accountability, but includes everyone in government.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board warns transport groups to not implement an authorized fare hike. Here's why from Joan Nano.
On this Facebook post of netizen Sheila Crisostomo, this poster at UV Express Terminal shows an advisory to its passengers about the 5 peso increase in its fares. Based on the said poster, from the previous 45 pesos, the fares at the said UV Express Terminal will increase to 50 pesos for trips from Mikawayan, Bulacan to Quezon City. It also stated that the said fare hike is due to the expected increase in petroleum prices due to the implementation of the government's tax reform for acceleration and inclusive or TRAIN law. This prompted the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB to issue a stern warning against transport groups to not implement unauthorized fare hikes.
To all public utility vehicle operators, hindi ho kayo pwedeng tumaas ng fare on your own. Unauthorized po yan.
Under the Joint Administrative Order No. 2014-1, operators who would implement a fare hike will face a 5,000 peso penalty for the first offense. Second-time offenders will have to pay a fine of 10,000 pesos, 60-day suspension of Certificate of Public Convenience, and withdrawal of their for-hire plates. Those who will commit the offense for the 3rd time will face cancellation of their franchise. Attorney Lizada explains that only Philippine National Taxi Operators Association and Grab Philippines have submitted petition for fare increase to the LTFRB. She notes the LTFRB board could release a resolution in March since they still have to conduct a thorough consultation with the National Economic Development Authority or NEDA and commuters group before deciding on the fare hike petition. The LTFRB also calls on passengers to immediately inform them about any public utility drivers, operators, or groups that take unfair advantage of the situation.
Picturean niyo po please yung kung meron man silang sign na nilalagay or take a picture of the plate number or yung ruta nila and then let us know kaagad sa LTFRB Citizen Enforcer, yung aming Facebook or sa Twitter namin para mas mabilis. Sana makakuha kayo ng video para mas madali. We will issue the necessary show cause order.
The agency is set to conduct tomorrow a special board meeting to begin the discussion on the petition for fare increase filed by Pintoa and Grab Philippines. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Let's take a look at the traffic situation now along some major roads in Metro Manila. On 5th Avenue in C3, Caloocan City, vehicles are fast-moving on the lane going to A. Bonifacio. While motorists are also experiencing light flow of vehicles on the lane going to A. Mabini. On Alabang Zapote Road, the traffic is green and go on the lane going to Ayala Alabang and Las Piñas City. While there is a slight delay on the lane going to Muntinlupa City and South Luzon Expressway or SLEX.
Next on Y News. The Malaysian government eases hiring process for domestic helpers. The new regulation alarms Philippine authorities.
And the Department of National Defense still verifies the presence of foreign terrorists in the country, while the AFP closely monitors activities of homegrown terrorists in Mindanao.
Y News will be right back. The government of Malaysia eases the process of hiring house helpers in the said country, which raises concerns for the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA. Here's why from Ray Pelayo.
The duration of hiring household helpers in Malaysia before normally took up 1 month, but now the process will only take up to 5 days. The process can be done online and has been made easier. An employer should just need to log in on the online maids system website and register the name of the house helper she or he plans to hire and upload their medical screening document. After the registration, the Immigration Department will assess the document first before requiring the payment for the hiring and the release of the temporary employment visit pass. The employer has to pay 1,635 ringgit, or equivalent to 20,000 pesos. The amount is lower than the 12,000 ringgit or 140,000 pesos an employer had to pay for in the past.
Mas madali ngayon sa mga employer na kumukuha sa Pilipinas kasi mas makamura na sila ngayon. At saka mabilis po.
The new system also allows for the hiring of house helpers with expired social visit pass, and they no longer need to look for an agency.
Kahit na expire na po yung visa nila, for example, pag nakahanap po sila ng employer nila na mag-process sa kanila, kumbaga mag-i-sponsor po sa kanila, ay mapaprocess po nila ng mas madali. So hindi na po nila kailangan umuwi pa ng Pilipinas.
Employers in Malaysia could do a direct hiring of foreign domestic helpers from Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, and Philippines.
Yung mga Pilipinos po kasi medyo mataas po ang kanilang salary expectation. So yung mga employer po, mas pipiliin po nila yung mababa. So marami pong kakompetensya yung mga Filipinos.
Since the employers can now directly hire housemaids, it would be their responsibility to create a contract and to apply for domestic helpers insurance for accidents, deaths, and health. POEA Acting Administrator Undersecretary Bernard Olalia meanwhile confirms the new policy of Malaysia. However, the agency wrote to the government of Malaysia to express concern over the new policy, which it claims might affect the security of overseas Filipino workers.
But it will be disadvantageous on our part, on the part of the OFWs, Filipino overseas natin, at POEA. Why? Meron kasi tayong tinatawag na JSL provisions at joint and solidary liability. In case of employment violation by the employer of our OFWs employment contracts, we go after our FRAs. No? Hinahabol natin itong mga foreign recruitment agencies. Ngayon at wala ng FRA, sino ngayon ang ating hahabulin?
Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines closely monitors activities of homegrown terrorists in Mindanao. Leah Iligan will tell us why.
The Department of National Defense has received a report from the governments of Malaysia and Indonesia that foreign terrorists have entered through the country's back door. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana says DND and the Armed Forces of the Philippines are continuously conducting their intelligence gathering to confirm the veracity of the report.
It is ongoing. We are intensifying our monitoring there in the south. And as of now, we cannot confirm the presence of the foreign terrorists.
The AFP, for its part, says they are focusing on relatives of neutralized Mountie fighters who may be supporting existing terror groups.
In terms of, sabihin natin, yung skills and competence, na-diminish natin. No? Pero may ibang angulo pa tayong tinitingnan eh. It's more on the radicalization of the other youth. members tsaka supporters ng sabi nating ISIS Maute.
Secretary Lorenzana notes that these homegrown terrorists are among the reasons why they recommended a one-year extension of martial law declaration in Mindanao.
We have requested for the extension of martial law because we believe that there is still rebellion there brought about by our homegrown terrorists, the Maute group, assisted of course by some foreigners.
The Philippine Army Chief says the extension of martial law is a huge help for the military to move against the terrorist group.
It does not mean you will reduce or diminish all the threat. But we have a level, we term it as manageable risk. So ayun yung hinahabol namin ngayon na although there is a threat, but if it is manageable, then we consider it as a reduction of probable threat.
Leia Iligan, UNTV, News and Rescue Camp Aguinaldo.
Former DILG officer in charge, Catalino Cuy, formally passed his responsibilities to retired top brass military official Eduardo Año. Here's why from May Bermudez.
Former AFP Chief of Staff General Eduardo Año takes on a new role as he became the officer in charge of the Department of the Interior and Local Government.
Of course, identifying these terrorists and continue the program of our government to defeat the terrorists. But aside from that, marami tayong mga interventions kasama yung ibang department like dialogue with ulamas, getting the cooperations of the local government units, particularly the local executives.
Also among the priorities of the new leadership is strengthening the campaign of the government against illegal drugs and supporting the PNP, BJMP, and BFP. But amid the controversies of the police under the DILG, Año says the National Police still have accomplishments.
Nagiging sensational lang yung mga nandun sa tinatawag nating national threat groups. Pero yung ordinaryong pag-serve ng warrant ng mga index and non-index crimes, maabot ng by the thousands yan.
But Año can't be appointed as the secretary of the agency yet after his retirement last October 26, 2017. Under the Republic Act 6975 or the Department of Interior and Local Government Act of 1990, no military or police officer may be appointed as secretary within 1 year from the date of his retirement or resignation. For the meantime, former OIC Catalino Cuy, who Año replaced, will take over the position of former Dangerous Drugs Board Chair Junicio Santiago. Meanwhile, President Duterte designates Martin Dino as Undersecretary of DILG.
I hope this time gagalaw ang lahat ng barangay, kapitan at saka mga kagawad sa buong Pilipinas. 5 billion kami. Yan ang dami ng barangay government.
Dino is the former chairman of the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority or SBMA, but the president designated Attorney Wilma Esma in his place. May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Impeachment Committee invites 3 more Supreme Court Associate Justices in the resumption of the impeachment hearing against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Grace Casin will tell us why.
Supreme Court Associate Justices Antonio Carpio, Lucas Bersamin, and Diosdado Peralta are among those who will testify before the Impeachment Committee on Monday on the allegations stated in the impeachment complaint filed by Attorney Larry Gadon against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Included in the grounds of impeachment to be tackled in the committee hearing are betrayal of public trust and allegations of graft and corruptions.
Members of the Supreme Court who will be called in to clarify on many matters, particularly on the inner workings of the Supreme Court with respect to its rules and procedures.
But CJ Sereno's spokesperson, Attorney Jojo Lacanilao, said that the testimonies of the invited justices are not necessarily against Sereno. The committee will also invite SC Associate Justices Andy Reyes, Mariano del Castillo, and Samuel Martires in the next hearings. Meanwhile, the committee has again invited Associate Justice Teresita Leonardo de Castro and SC Court Administrator Justice Midas Marquez to attend the hearings. The camp of Sereno maintained that all the information traced out in the previous hearings are not impeachable offenses.
Lacanilao adds that they expect Sereno's detractors to intensify their smear campaign against the Chief Justice to cover up the defects of the impeachment case. The lawyer says that if there was a strong case against the Chief Justice, the case should have been long elevated to the Senate for trial. According to Impeachment Committee Chairman Reynaldo Umali, the impeachment complaint will be voted upon by the lower house in March. This is due to a number of issues that need to be settled first before the voting. Reyes Case, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Solicitor General Jose Calida slams the decision of the Court of Appeals, or CA, to order the release of former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes. In a statement, Calida says they will investigate the controversial decision of the appellate court. The CA dismissed the warrant of arrest issued against Reyes due to prosecution's lack of evidence to implicate the former government official in the killing of journalist and environmentalist Jerry Ortega. The Solicitor General notes they are ready to bring the case to the Supreme Court.
The declaration of a state of calamity in Iligan City has been postponed following the Office of the Ombudsman's issuance of a suspension order against the city's vice mayor and 12 councilors. Here's why from Aiko Miguel.
The camp of Iligan City Mayor Celso Rehencia submitted their petition to the Court of Appeals, or CA, which requests for the release of a temporary restraining order, or TRO, against the recent decision of the Office of the Ombudsman to suspend the Vice Mayor of the city and its 12 councilors. The suspension order stemmed from the simple misconduct case involving the accused government officials. Mayor Rehencia explains that the decision left only 2 councilors doing all the work in the city, making the problem in the area too difficult to address. These problems, Rehencia notes, include the proposal to declare a state of calamity in the city due to the onslaught of Storm Vinta in the region of Mindanao in December of last year.
Dili lalim nga inainani ni first time in history sa tibok Pilipinas nga vice mayor o 12 ka konsyal ang majority na suspended. So natay mga gimbuhaton nga atong himong unta ilabi na ay mga emergency atong bagyo nga Vinta. Dili ko kagalaw tungod kay walay mohatag na kog authority.
The city mayor says the most affected are the residents of Iligan since they could not receive the aid they are supposed to receive.
Maipektuhan tungod para anak karon sa patubig, no? Kay dili man pwede si mayor lang. Kinanglan man na ay approval padaan sa sangguniang palungsod. Ang na-deprive aning ato ang political harassment is ang katawhan.
The suspension order is the Ombudsman response to the complaint filed by former Iligan Representative Vicente Belmonte and former Vice Mayor Roderick Marzo. The complainants argued that the City Council allowed the continuous serving of Mayor Rehencia despite his detention over allegations that he's involved in the ambush of Belmonte in December of 2014 and usurpation of power. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Police arrested more than 40 minors in the province of La Union. Here's why from Nel Maribuho.
San Fernando City Police reminds parents to follow the existing curfew on minors to prevent their children from being involved in various crimes. The police made the call after the arrest of 42 minors in the city of San Fernando, La Union last night. Among the arrested were 7 girls and 35 boys who were found at karaoke bar, computer shop and loitering at the city's plaza.
So nakikita natin to na isang solusyon para mabawasan yung mga nangyayaring krimen. At the same time, mapaalalahanan natin yung mga magulang on what are their responsibilities as parents.
Under the Provincial Ordinance Number 002/2008 or Curfew for Minors policy, children and teenagers are not allowed to go out of their homes beginning 10 in the evening until 4 in the morning from Sunday to Thursday, at the 12 midnight to 4 in the morning every Friday and Saturday. Authorities will have the first-time offenders and their parents undergo a seminar on parenting which will be conducted by a social welfare officer. The second time the youth offender violates the curfew, they will have to pay a fine of 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos or conduct a community service. According to the officer in charge of the San Fernando City Police, Police Chief Inspector Jangia Gi, They will set up a database for the recording of the cases of the arrested minors who violated the curfew. Giagi notes the said database will help the police monitor the arrested minors. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
16 multipurpose drying pavements will be constructed in Cabanatuan City. Here's wire from Reyes Case.
Authorities are ensuring the fast construction of multipurpose drying pavements in 16 villages in the city of Cabanatuan in Nueva Ecija. According to Floor Ortiz of City Agriculture and Livelihood Management Office or CALMO, it's important to construct more drying pavements in each village to prevent the drying of rice grains along roads, which sometimes causes accidents.
Talaga'y binabawal na rin po ang pagbibilad sa mga kalsada, kaya para matulungan sila ay nagkaroon ng proyekto na inilunsad. Ito nga yung pagpapagawa ng solar dryer o yung multipurpose drying pavement sa mga barangay.
Each drying facilities is 420 square meters in measurement and can dry up to 40 sacks of rice grains a day. The said facilities can be used by farmers associations and cooperatives in each barangays.
Kaya nag-request ako para yan magawa. Dahil nung nakaraan nga, may nagsaksakan pa dahil sa bilaran. E di kung ganyan, maraming maitutulong sa kabarangay ko din.
The project was launched by the Department of Agriculture with the help of the local government of Cabanatuan in December of 2017. The completion is expected in the first week of February of this year. Reyes Case, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Those are the reasons behind the news. January 9, 2018. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene Basingan.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Why News.